Excellent. Jordan starts us off with an example of the word thing that is very, what we could say, colloquial. In other words, very common, very slangish. People talking about doing your own thing. That's almost a cliche. And Jordan's bringing it in. So Jordan and everybody else, I never want you to feel bad about your use of these words, because chances are really good that you're writing as people commonly speak. Unfortunately, people just sort of make up sentences as they go along, which means that when people speak, they speak imprecisely, they speak in confusing fashions. They also amplify what they do with a lot of tone of voice, facial gestures, body movement, and so on. There's a lot more going on to speech than there is to writing. You can't transfer one to the other. You can't just take what you speak and throw it down in writing. So what Jordan's doing right now is he's writing kind of the way he would speak and the way people expect him to speak. So in a sense, I'm looking at Jordan's writing thinking, I understand where you're going with this. However, we must understand also that this word thing is about as general and vague a noun as you can get. It's about as non-specific as nouns come. What other nouns would be that non-specific? Stuff. That's a pronoun. What? It's a pronoun also. Stuff is another non-specific. Things probably about as general as you can speak, which means that we are not speaking precisely or specifically. Let's take it out of our language. Just take it off your list of eligible words, which means that if Jordan has a problem using the word thing, what will he do in the revision process? Yeah, I know, make sure he doesn't use it, but what will help him very easily find it? Control F, thing. Find them, take them all out. All right, now let's talk about taking them out. How do you want to revise this? A couple different ways. But, sorry, always before you answer that question, I've got to give you some instruction. We could replace, or we could rewrite. Rewrite means rewrite the sentence, so you don't run into this problem. Daniel, what do you want to try?
Instead of saying wants to do his own thing, you say mind his own business.
Oh, mind his own business. That's a cliche, but it's actually, it uses some specific words. Mind and business are very specific, so that's a rewrite. Meade stays away from everybody else and minds his own business.
Oh, you could just rewrite it and say that it could be like Meade. You could just leave it and say Meade stays away from everybody else.
True. However, staying away from everybody else is negative, right?
Yeah.
That means you're removing from action. I think what Jordan wants to do, and Jordan, you didn't even know you were thinking in this sophisticated way. By and, he wants the negative and the affirmative. He wants to say what he's not doing and what he is doing. Does that make sense? So if we take out the affirmative, then we've cut half of his meaning. Oh, I like that. You're all mumbling like, yeah, I like it too. There's no way I could write that. Of course you could write this. What did we decide the core theme of The Pedestrian was? Individuality. It's about individuality. And it's about being destroyed by society. You know that word. You can master that word. You can use it. I was thinking of individuality also. I was thinking of Meade stays away from everybody else and acts as an individual or acts independently. These sorts of words. Connor's idea, preserve his individuality, preserves, sorry, this must agree, preserves his individuality is excellent too. That works. Those are both rewrites. I don't see a replacement here. Meade stays away from everybody else and wants to do his own actions. Do your actions? That's silly. You would just say act. Act independently. So when I was thinking of a revision, I think, can I replace? What would I replace it with? Do actions. No. How about using action as a verb? Okay. And wants to act independently, act individually. Next thing example. All right, Tori. All right, Tori, give us a little bit of context here. What are you writing about? Who is he? What are we talking about? He is Beatty. Okay, so he's the establishment man, the captain of the firemen. He likes things to stay the way they are. Do you have a suggestion for your own revision? What do you? Okay. Oh, he likes life just the way it is? That would work, right? Life just the way it is. Because you are talking about life. Might be a little bit big and a little bit vague, but it's nowhere near as vague as things. So I would accept that. And definitely, Tori, if I were reading that in your writing, I would have no cause to circle and mark anything. Josiah, do you have another idea? He likes the world as it is. Excellent. Life or the world. We're practicing simple replacement, right? Jake, do you have another idea?
I was sort of going to say something like Josiah. I was going to say that he likes the way the world runs.
Okay, so we're using world again, but now we're rewriting the way the world runs.
Like how Mr. was talking about reviews,
Okay.
how she's different from everybody else, and how she does her hair and stuff, and how he's not like that.
She likes to question. He likes to accept. Is that true? Okay. So if she's questioning, you must think about the antonym or the opposite of questioning. The opposite is acceptance. So there's your word. He accepts the world the way it is. He accepts life the way it is. He simply accepts. All of that will work very nicely. Zach? He likes society just the way it is. Yeah, that works too. In fact, out of all of them, that might be best. Because really, in Fahrenheit 451, what are we talking about? Life? No, it's a biological process. Are we talking about the world? That's a loaded term. It includes a lot. Are we talking about society? Absolutely. We're talking about the rules of society, their expectations, assumptions, traditions, beliefs, and so on. So, yes, I would agree with Josiah. Ding, ding, ding. Next example of thing. You have a thing? All right. Zach? Yeah, that was a really weird question. Yeah, Mr. Clarkson, be more precise. I would love it if a student would actually say, Mr. Clarkson, I don't understand that word. Could you speak more precisely? I'm sorry? Hmm? Ought. Ought. All right, we have a get also. I love gets. Why? What, you have the same sentence? Basically? Beneke tries many different things to get back in the window. Oh, Sarah, you're all over it. Oh, tactics. It is a good word. Although when I think tactics, I often think, military or CIA or a SWAT team or some. Well, yeah, but I'm not sure that's what we're looking for with Beneke. But you're definitely right, Sarah. It's a much better word. So replacement with tactics. Shelby.
I was thinking
Actions.
actions.
He tries many actions. Everybody pause for a moment. I'm going to teach you a new term. Boom, hands down. Definition. This is where you make a noun out of a verb when it should stay a verb. Do you see it? Action is a verb. Well, I'm sorry, action is a noun, but it is a development of a verb. What verb? Act, right? Right. I am trying an action, I am doing an action. Same sort of problem exists with a phrase like, I am having a discussion. Really? Why don't you just discuss? Do you see how we use 3 words to basically say what we're saying in one? It's called nominalization. So what you're doing here, Shelby, is you're saying he's trying actions. Where that should be a verb. Beneke acts in many ways to get back in the window. Still sounds a little bit strange. Tries actions, to me, sounds like you have 2 verbs fighting in there, trying an action. So I'm not going to go with action just yet. Jake. Ways, tries many different ways. Strategizes to get back in the window. Strategizes many different ways to get back in the window. We also have the tactics quality going on. Sarah?
You could take out many different, but multiple.
Multiple ways?
Like my second word recipe.
Really? Multiple and tactics. And if you put them together and you're talking about multiple tactics, you have the best phrase ever for you, right? All right. Beneke tries multiple tactics to get back in the window. Interesting. Let's try, instead of just the replacement, let's try the rewriting. Beneke, yeah.
Get back in the window. Beneke has different plans.
You've just reorganized, though. This would be mine. Beneke attempts to climb back into his apartment in many ways. Because he is climbing back into the window. I wouldn't say get in the window. Say climb into the window, return to his apartment. In many ways. Same idea, some reorganization, some rewriting. But at its core, I have Beneke attempts as my very strong noun-verb pair and no thing.
Did you say, as Beneke stands on the ledge,
He strategizes multiple tactics. Strategizes multiple tactics.
or well, you can't say, I don't know, he thinks
He considers many ways.
yeah.
Yeah, considers many ways. Or,
I just feel like that sounds like really I like when it enters my head and it's
or considers many options.
yeah.
Yeah. Point being, a number of ways exist to rid ourselves of the word thing. Sometimes we're a little bit too specific, and perhaps it has a quality we don't like the word tactic might work some places and not others. No, Sarah, I love your glee over the word. I really do. I agree. It will be appropriate some places and not appropriate others. Can we have another thing? Go ahead with your question. Do we have another thing example? Jordan, you've already had one. Daniel, we'll go with yours. Pass it around to Daniel. Connor, ask your question.
It doesn't really have to do with this, but I realized all the names was really weird for the characters. The authors did that on purpose, like,
To distinguish them? I would say that I would never say, Connor, that all authors act in a certain way, because authors are a very diverse group. But I will say that authors name their characters intentionally. So if they're naming them in distinctly different ways rather than John Smith, they probably want to distinguish their character as a unique individual. Whereas, do you ever see The Matrix? No. Okay, there's a character with 2 different identities, and one of the identities is this little cubicle rat who basically sits there and works on a desk all day filing mindless reports, and his name is Anderson, which is a very generic name, just run-of-the-mill. And then his cool, like, internet virtual reality name is Neo, which is very distinctive and different. So there's intentional naming differences going on. She also forgot a lot of things. Oh, she forgot a lot of memories. can you forget a memory? You would forget the fact that is in the memory, right? So you wouldn't forget a memory, you'd forget the fact. Here is your replacement. Any more replacements? Information. Yes. Okay, Sarah, I guess we're finished with the replacements. What else? She also forgot her mind? She forgot a lot of her mind? Or?
No, I was doing like a rephrasing the sentence, like rewriting.
Okay, so rewrite.
So you say like,
It's okay.
she forgot her mind.
Okay, we're going to let Sarah calm down for a moment. Anybody have another rewrite? She cannot remember. She cannot remember much. Good. She also forgot a lot of thoughts. That's true. However, I think that the best way to do this, Connor? Too fancy. Her mind does not retain much. No. She forgot her thoughts. We're still on the same track. Now, a lot of writing teachers do not care for a lot. Do you like how I used a lot to say that? Okay, good. I'm glad you appreciate the irony. She also forgot Daniel, can you put this in context for me? Read the sentence in front of it. The original? Yeah.
She also forgot a lot of.
No, the sentence in front of that sentence in your original writing.
Oh, okay.
You have the paper somewhere there?
Yeah. Like I was talking about Mildred, in case you're like.
Yep. Yep. Talking about the Mildred and problems with memory in Fahrenheit 451.
Mildred shows too much selfishness in the story, which makes the conflict even worse for Montag in some parts. And also, when she forgets a lot of things.
Okay.
I could just put a comment there.
What's the qualifier? She also forgets not much, not a lot. I want a word that, I'm sorry? Most of the time, I want a single word that expresses most of the time. There you go. She also forgets often. There you go. She always forgets. That's more intense. Depends upon how intense Daniel wants to go with his writing. And that depends upon the paragraph and what he's trying to prove with his claim. Yes?
Other reasons teachers don't like them to use "elect" is because they spell it wrong.
True, true. It's commonly misspelled.
How do we spell it? And it's not spelled right.
A lot is two words.
Really? In grade school, I always learned it's one word.
Well, hold on. Sometimes words, like the word or phrase every day. Sometimes it's two, sometimes it's one. It depends upon how it's used in the sentence. Now, I can give you a grammar justification saying, well, here it's being used as a noun phrase, and here it's being used as an adverb. And that's what's going on. With a lot, sometimes students recognize that it's being used as an article, a, and a noun, and so they split them. Sometimes they think it's being used as an adjective or an adverb, which sometimes it is, and so they join them. In common, traditional grammar, those are two words. You separate them. Tori. Yes?
For like the usage thing, I have a adage of holding on like everything or anything.
Not often. Usually I avoid the everything, something, or nothing because I've not seen that to be as much of a problem, but sometimes it does skirt that line. So it's not, Tori, moral of the story, I will not automatically count off points for that. However, you should use them with caution. Okay? Any last questions? More.